All right, I think we are live, my friend.
All right.
So you are up.
Well, good evening. Before we get into our usual lighthearted conversation tonight, I want to address heartbreaking news. Charlie Kirk, conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was shot while speaking at Utah Valley University and has died from his wounds. It's a moment no one saw coming, and out of respect for him and his family, I'm going to keep these remarks brief. But my heart is with them. This evening we'll continue with our regular show. But let's start by holding that moment of reflection together. A moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And now the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Welcome to Sober Shenanigans, Real Talk and Real Recovery. It is with somber tone tonight. We were looking forward to this and trying to have our regular shenanigans, but it just doesn't seem right now. Primo?
You know, I'm definitely I broke my phone, so I'm limited on some of my tech that I would normally have, and my wife came out and said that Charlie Kirk had been shot, and I'm like, what? And then I didn't realize how bad it was, and I was busy doing things, trying to get ready to be here, so I didn't really stop what I was doing to dive into it, and then once I did, then my son called me freaking out. And so I was listening to him, and then he sends me this video, and I'm like, oh my God. And, I'm just shocked at, how divided we have become in our ideology and our, people are, that somebody would have that much hate or mental illness or whatever the hell is going on to be motivated to kill another human being, especially a father. And I don't get it. And, so I'm a little shook. And, these things happen. I was sober when 9/11 happened. And that was craziness.
Yeah.
I've been sober for a lot of things, it seems like.
Yeah.
I think I was a couple years old when JFK, I don't remember JFK, but, I remember finding the newspaper that my parents saved.
Yeah.
And how those moments, all these different things, this is another one of those moments. And I hope that, as a species, we can find comfort in loving each other.
Right. And figuring out, realizing how precious life is. We talk about this all the time in the program, how you get your life back, how it's a life hack, how life is great when you're sober, and a lot of things can open up to you. And events like this remind us just how fleeting it can be and how fragile it can be. We see a lot of death in the people we come across with addiction.
Sure.
But when something like this happens live in front of so many people, and there's just a horrific video out there of it, it causes time for reflection. When I was driving to the studio tonight, the guy on the radio couldn't hold it together. I was listening to Joy FM because I like Christian music sometimes during the day, and that's what I was trying to get myself into an upbeat mood on the way here. And it's just everything. Some sense of reality is shattered, and it's going to take a while to get it back, especially for the children who saw this and see this, and his children. Oh my gosh, imagine.
Yeah, I don't envy. I don't understand where we go from here, but there needs to be a course correction. And, and I remember after 9/11, ironically, I felt a lot of unity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the face of like tragedy, I've always been able to find that sense of unity, people coming together, people crossing the aisle and saying, wait a minute, we need to stop some of this rhetoric, hopefully.
Yeah.
And when we went through the hurricane, the great challenge that was, you know, Category 5 going through Fort Myers Beach, totally devastating everything. And, you know, we banded together, you know, as a community and rose above a lot of those challenges. I mean, I remember bringing generators and diesel cans down there, and just trying to do whatever I could to help, you know. And this is probably going to be a situation where people are going to say, okay, we need to figure some solution out here, because this is not a good direction.
Yeah, how do you go about helping? There is no tangible thing that you can do unless you, I don't know, somehow know the person's motive that did it, but that's going to be, you know, transpired differently depending on what you listen to or see. It's just seeing a death on public television and on video and in front of thousands is something that it takes a long time to recover from. Even though on 9/11 we technically saw many deaths.
Sure.
With that, we didn't see it the way this video shows. And you know, he was just a guy that was trying to voice his opinion, which we can do because we're in America. Anybody can say anything they want. That's part of the greatness of this country. You shouldn't be killed because what you say isn't agreed by all. I mean, that's the worst tragedy of everything. I mean, that's just, you know, he essentially got killed for free speech. Somebody decided that his technique of speech and the way he would debate, you know, he would go on college. He was on a college campus when this happened. He would debate openly and take on all comers with questions because it was just dialogue.
So, like, why I didn't necessarily agree with everything that he would debate. I didn't agree with everything that he, you know, I was more, I kind of was in the middle on some of that. But I respected his opinion because it didn't seem like he was just making it up, or he wasn't looking for a fight. He was looking for somebody. I think he was teachable.
Yeah.
You know, which is the thing that, you know, but he was definitely a very conservative guy. And, I don't know. I do know that, keeping a calm head, you know, this last year has been really a challenge and a lot of division, even leading up to it. And, you know, and I would like to see, I'd like to see everybody come back, you know, peace and all these other things. You know, we need a great John Lennon of our times. You know what I mean? We need somebody that can sing about those things. And even what happened to him, for crying out loud.
Right.
You know
I mean,
so it's a crazy, I think it's just mental illness, you know, because, I don't know that it's necessarily, I mean, some of this hate stuff, it brews into this other dangerous thought processes. And you know, when you're, you know, when I went to the psych ward twice, and I can tell you, I was not in a good frame of mind.
Yeah.
When I went in there, I was not in a good frame. And I woke up with that guy.
Sitting on your chest with a knife?
No, I woke up with that guy praying over me.
Oh, right.
And he had rope burns around his neck.
Right.
And I was like, holy smokes, you know. And, you know, I don't know. I do hope that people are reaching out. If they're struggling with this, that they're going to reach out for solutions, and they're going to talk to people. And this is a good time for therapy. You know, it's a good time to take this and learn from it.
It is a good reason for unity, and you know, what we really don't we really don't want to see is people going out and drinking over it or drugging over it. I mean, you know, let me rewind. Welcome to Sober Shenanigans.
Yes.
Real talk and real recovery. We're just two average garden variety drunks. You know, I'm drunk number one, your main man Stoff. And with me as always is my man Hunter Grand, Primo, and you know, thanks for checking in.
We've got a few
Here
people. We do have some people that have showed up. We have Mark, you know, Mark says no one deserves to lose their life over something like politics. And
agreed, Mark.
Yeah, Mark is a solid dude. I mean, he has got a great head on his shoulders. And, you know, I've hung out with Mark, and I think it would be very difficult to anger this guy. He's very, very even keel dude. And then we got Becky Sparks Contreras.
Becky.
So, bully for Becky. Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
And more people are showing up. Nah, I'm running them off actually. No, I think a lot of people are probably, I was debating whether we even come on and do this.
Yeah.
And I was debating it because my phone was broken too, by the way. I broke my phone like 2 hours before I got in here, and I needed that tool, but I think we figured it out how to do it without it. I actually have my wife's laptop, which is sacred, and I could be hurt very badly if anything bad happens to this. So
yeah, it's we've been looking forward to this for a week.
Yeah.
And then, but what do they say? Man plans, God laughs. Not that God is laughing, but it doesn't matter what plans we make. He's in charge. The craziness of the world sometimes takes over. Hopefully, good comes out of this somehow. Maybe like some other tragedies, it brings unity. It brings these two sides together. Obviously, whoever did this was inspired or told to do it by someone who was inspired of thinking differently than Charlie, or thinks of Charlie that he was a threat of some sort, or I don't know. It's just really hard to make sense of. So we don't make sense of it. It makes no sense.
Well, it's I don't know. I mean, I guess kind of keep your eyes open and your ears open, and if you see somebody that's struggling, ask them how they're doing.
Yeah.
And listen to them. I think that's something that could certainly be a benefit, is to try to be there for somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually listening. I talked to my sponsor yesterday, and he said, Stoff, when you're doing things like the Serenity Prayer and other things in the program, actually listen to what you're saying. Sometimes we glaze over these things because we say them every day and it's part of the routine. But there's a reason that we put these in every meeting. There's a reason that we say these things. There's a reason that they marinate on people. The reason that they work. There's a reason people go to them. Is because they're very vivid, strong words. So pay attention and actually listen, especially if you're in a time of grief or indecision. And you go towards prayer, or you go towards the Big Book, or you go towards Steps and Traditions, or you go towards NA, or any of the programs. These, the programs that, we try not to really endorse one. We like them all. Whatever it takes for you to get sober and to quit what you need to quit today. That's all we really care about.
So I think you're making a great point, and I believe that separation from the whatever I'm thinking about, and including this new positive thought into my brain, like hitting the pause button and then editing this other stuff in, is very critical to the way, because I can get stewing on an issue or something or another, and for just to stop and pray now, it's almost like a muscle that you develop. To this day, because of some of the stuff I did early on, when I say the Serenity Prayer, or I stop and start over, I get way better results. And not anxiety and anger and fear and all those things that I was welling up inside of me, it literally stops it. A lot of times I'm able to use those tools, and then when I do that, when I consciously make a decision to do that for myself, sometimes I just keep rolling and stressing out. But when I stop and say a prayer and say, okay, God, take the wheel, you know what I mean? Like my sponsor would say, were you lying to me when you did the third step?
Yeah.
Were you full of shit? And, which I still am a little bit resentful about the way he did that. But I so appreciate it, that I was able to hit the reset button. Okay. And this is obviously a very extreme situation, but it could go as far as, hurting somebody else's feelings, or deliberately trying to, make somebody else feel bad or whatever it is. I firmly believe that if I'm hurting other people at any capacity, then I'm going to get drunk. I believe that's what in the 33 years I've been sober, I've seen that's a thing that gets a lot of people drunk.
Yeah.
Is that they're not worrying about how other people feel. And so,
well, you said it earlier. Pay attention to the people around you. If you do see someone who's down or someone who looks dejected, just ask them how you feeling, how you doing. Be genuine with it. Care. We lack empathy in this society, which really is unfortunate. Because empathy is something that we all need, and if you can't find it and you can't express it, then you're kind of a lost person because you have no sense of anyone else's feelings or what anyone else is doing. Which in this program, on this show, what we do is just try to help other people because we know helping other people ultimately helps ourselves to stay sober, and maybe something good can happen. It's almost a selfish thing because you can't keep it if you don't give it away. What's that saying, Primo?
You can't keep it unless you give it away.
Is that it? I said it right?
You actually did it. Yeah, you got that.
Well, how about that?
And I was happy to be the gaffer, the boy, or whoever it is that gets us beverages during our show. This high.
Right. Right. Live on the show, you got us beverages. Before the show started, you had mentioned a saying in the back of the book that might pertain to what's going on today. You remember that?
I do. It's the quote by Herbert Spencer, and it's one of the things I live by, and it's contempt prior to investigation. So there is a bar against all information which cannot fail to lead a man or woman into everlasting ignorance. That bar is contempt prior to investigation. So what it says to me, or my interpretation, is that I need to be open to all principles. I need to be open-minded to how whatever you're thinking, whether I agree with it or disagree with it, I need to be open to the fact that that's what you believe.
Right.
And and my sponsor used to tell me, and I brought a lot of relationships issues to him, and he would say, you both could be right, or you're really right, or maybe you're not right. But, that sometimes it's as far as we get, is that, the other person is wrong, and that doesn't work. That other person has those feelings for whatever reason, and because they conflict with my thinking, it doesn't mean that I need to, sometimes there's just people that maybe I'm not gonna hang out with, or me and them just don't see on the same level, or we just have a different perspective on life, and that's okay. I accept that we may not think alike, and that's okay. But I don't need to say damning or hurtful things to you because of it.
Right, and we should never villainize someone who has a different opinion than us. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and nobody should be, villainized or thought of as evil because their opinion is different, unless their opinion is literally hurting somebody, or your opinion really can't hurt somebody. But it's crazy. Life is just nuts, man. You can't tell from 1 minute to the next what could happen. Here we are. We're talking about, hey, let's go live and let's be fun, and we got a structure for the show, and
right,
and then bam, and then live on TV an hour ago, a public figure gets shot, and it brings back the value of life and how fleeting it is, how fragile it is, and how we need to respect it and treat it with the kid gloves it deserves. We're human beings, and we have faults, but nobody should have to suffer that for what they say or their opinion just because it's different than yours.
So we got a couple of people. I got Julie in here. Julie Tunney, beautiful lady.
What's up, Julie?
It's one of my wife's best friends from Findlay, Ohio. And then we have Christy Gray Ardino. I like her last name. And she says, first time seeing us. So thank you for joining us.
Nice.
Yeah. We are, we were really going to have this incredibly talented, like a talent show where we do a little comedy, we do a little therapy. And, obviously we were struck with some, a tragedy, and a lot of people are going to be looking for people to how to resolve these issues. And I think it's, availing yourself, and listening to people, how they process their feelings. I know that in my house, there'll be some fear, as a result of this, and what's the reaction and who did it, blah, blah, blah. And so I know that, that we're going to rise up and try to be there for people that are really confused about it. My son's already called, and he's got, he's definitely been impacted by it. And there will be some, people that have trauma over this for sure.
Definitely, there's going to be the 30 and under crowd, which was Charlie's demographic, they're the most vulnerable, right, too. The 25 and under, the ones that take everything so personally, and then every little thought that they have or any feeling that they have, they think means the world. Like when we were that age, we thought it meant everything. So those are the ones that we need to keep an eye out for. If you're out there and you've got kids that are that age, and maybe kids that were in college, because this happened in front of a bunch of college kids. And, the worst thing that happens with some of these type of things is how it installs fear into the young people. They can't live life, free and, fancy free. And what are you doing?
I don't know. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm learning here. I'm learning.
Well, don't learn. We're doing a show.
I know. Well, it was.
Yeah. All right. This is not a time for learning. This is a time for, I don't even know. There's grief. There's disenchantment. There's disgust. There's ire. There's anger. There's definitely no joy, and like I was saying earlier, it affects the young people more because they take things more to heart, and it's going to scare them from talking their own opinion in public. It's going to scare them from sharing a point of view because they think they might get hurt for it. And how do we come back from that? How do we instill the inside hope of the young people that they can actually express themselves? Right. There's nothing worse than squashing a kid's expression. My grandmother used to say, discipline the act, not the freedom of them to do the act. So if you did something, when I was a grandkid, if I did something bad, she'd tell me the act was wrong.
Right.
But if I used out of the box thinking to do said act, she really wouldn't condemn that because I was using my brain, and I was using creativity and maybe even talent to do whatever it was I was doing. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I brought my grandmother up. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know what? You're
See, I'm reeling, and I'm not a 20-year-old.
No, but you came in when you arrived in. You were rolling with a lot of. I mean, you're like this snowball that's been rolling down the hill, and different things have been attaching itself to you.
The duder has a lot of brain strains in the brain that are working right now. I got lots going on.
You got a lot of stuff going on, and and I'm there watching you, and I'm supporting, and it's like
big time.
Yeah, and I think you're trying to figure out a direction for the way our kids need to process and help as a leader. You're just being right now. You're already jumping into parent mode.
Yeah,
and I am too. I really want to make sure that our children are going to be able to process this in a healthy way. I will say that one of the things that I've found to be quite different is the parents. The parenting versus what I was raised with was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I may not have had been able to have a conversation over this. That process may not have been available to me. I might have had to go to the wolves that were raising me, or my brothers, and have them, discuss things, and I was not going to get a good answer from them.
Right.
And then maybe I just didn't care. You know what I mean? Like that's the other part. Like and thank God I care today. You know that I'm going to care, and I want to be there for people, and I'm still, I'm going to marinate on how I process this and how I can help others. I mean, that's really what I have to walk away from this and just kind of maybe meditate and sit with it, and then I'll process some good, maybe some sort of things that I can offer to people as some sort of symbol of hope or serenity, the way to get through it.
Well, it's going to cause some people to drink too much, drug too much, because when you're in your addiction, as a lot of us know, you'll take any reason you can find to grab that bottle or grab that pipe or whatever it is that you do. Whether you're happy, whether you're sad, people are looking for a reason to grab it. So what we want to say is, don't do that. No drinks today. Regardless of what is going on, drinking doesn't help it ever.
No.
I was reeling a couple of days ago and talking to one of my best buds, and he had a bottle of Jameson within reach of me. I didn't really see it, but he kind of pointed it out, and he goes, "Well, don't grab for that." Right. And I looked and I saw it, and I told him point blank. I said, "Man, I don't even think that way anymore. I know that getting a drink and getting a drug never helps the situation. There's no way you come out of doing that better. All you're doing is masking what you need to take care of in that moment." And, I'm really grateful for that the program and the people in the program have helped me to come to the realization that drinking never helps anything. It just doesn't. All it does is cloud judgment, spike insulin levels, and lead to the next dumb maneuver. So if you happen to be listening, stay sober, reach out to someone who might be hurting. And if there is someone in your purview, in your circle that you see going to grab a drink or a drug because of this, just be there for them, reach your hand out, show them empathy. Like you said, maybe this somehow, not today, but somehow tomorrow, in 2 days, 3 days, can bring some of this division together.
Right.
Because even the people that don't agree with Charlie and his point of view can't think this is acceptable. You just can't. Maybe there's 5% of them that think that this is acceptable. Somehow, in some warped brain, they think that. But the other 95% that think other than Charlie can't think this is acceptable. So maybe this allows them to reach out and help Charlie followers get through the day.
Right.
And they find a common ground of the human race and helping each other somehow. Maybe this turns into, God, let's hope. Somehow it turns into something good, because he never seemed to be, I didn't know a lot about him, but he doesn't seem to be a guy who was out to be any sort of ill will, evil type of guy. There's no, when a positive
he had a very specific religious direction that he
did.
Yes, definitely. He was definitely very.
Was he Mormon or
Christian?
Latter-day Saints?
No, Christian.
Oh, Christian. Okay.
And he was a brilliant guy. I mean, he could. I don't know how he retained all that information, but he's
sharp.
Yeah, he had a lot of information, and that he was able to pull up at a moment's notice. And for whatever reason, I think I know that he had the bravery to forge ahead and to do what he thought was right. Right. And that's the beauty of our country, is that you can do that, whether we agree or disagree. And, it just, people, I don't even know what to say. Like I told you, I will be marinating on this.
Yeah.
And I think, but if you're out there, it's a good time to, and I think even people on the news and all over are going to try to make sense of this. And as the smoke of all this, the dust starts to settle, and we hopefully, come to our senses and are able to provide some answers and a direction. The compass has been spinning around long enough already, and I'm not one for, I don't like to wallow around and stuff. I like to take action and I like to move forward. I, life is short for sure. And, this opportunity that we've been given as a second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th chance that we've been given at this life, it's my responsibility to take advantage of that, and have a good day. And then, this show is really about life success and being lighthearted, and rule number 62, which is don't take yourself so seriously. And I think, I don't know, at this moment, it's not great because everyone's going to be struggling with what to say. It's like when somebody dies suddenly, what do you say to the person? I always struggle with that, my condolences are, but just saying something is important, and my thoughts go out to his kids and his wife. And I know that he was convicted in the thing that he was doing and he wanted to help others. So,
yeah, there needs to be some sort of light put on mental illness. So whoever pulled the trigger is mentally ill because they thought that this was the right thing to do. Yeah. And taking a life is never the right thing to do. You're mentally ill if you have come to the realization that you have to kill somebody because of their point of view.
Right.
So, a lot of times the media doesn't address that. They find other reasons to blame someone who does an evil act. But there are evil people out there, and there are mentally ill evil people out there.
Well, the thing to think about here is that we do have where our blessings come in. So I thought the first show back would do some lighthearted stuff and some gratitude.
Yeah.
So, but the one thing that that it's important that we remember is that we've been given a program, a blueprint for life. We have a set of principles that we can go back and look at our stuff, our fears, our insecurities, and all these different things, and we can take an inventory of those and get rid of the stuff that we don't need, and then add things that we do need, and we create this person that we want to be. Yeah. And develop an equity in our life. So this is the beauty of what we have in our little organization that we, of recovery. And I know that, if you're just kind of half measuring this thing or half assing this thing, you'll still get results, and maybe you're just getting some shine off of somebody else that's really doing it, and you're getting a little osmosis. But if you really apply yourself, I can assure you, from the depths that I came from, the bottom that I have hit and then hit again, if you can climb up out of that and have the life that I have, we're onto something here, and pay attention to it and just do the work. I mean, what's the alternative? Being unhappy and being drunk, or, jails, institutions, and death. I mean, those are the alternatives. So take it and put your foot in the ground and head to the direction that you want to go in.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Right. It's just get up one more time.
Yeah.
You just get up one more time, then you're knocked down, because we're not quitters.
No.
We like to, as you like to say, as Primo's favorite saying is, I like to hang with the winners.
Absolutely.
So we don't let life beat us down to the end. It beats us down, but we always get back up. And as long as you guys get back up too, then you can have shenanigans with us. I mean, we're such a lighthearted show usually. The title is Shenanigans. And it is what it is, we usually would like to make fun of something we did in the past, a story or some stupidness that we did when we were inebriated, or, because we can laugh at that now, which, I remember vividly first getting sober and coming into the program and wondering, what are all these people laughing at? This is the worst day. It was the worst day of my life when I stepped into the first room. And I'm like, what are all these people laughing at? This blows, And today's kind of like one of those days. What are these people laughing at? This ain't funny. But you got to find silver linings. You got to get back up. You can't stay down.
And I think
and you got to reach a hand out to help your next man up or woman. It just has to.
Right. I think you know, in lieu of our I mean, boy, the energy is something. But you know, I think this is being our first real live, and I'd like to continue this. I want to get it to where we get some people in here and have some fun in recovery. You know, one of the most important things I needed to learn is that I could have fun.
We're not a glum lot.
No, and I needed to learn that.
Yeah.
And just the timing of that energy isn't right now, man. It just got crushed.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would be appropriate.
If anyone has any questions, you can shoot them to us. I don't know what you would ask us. How does Primo keep his hair so nice?
Hey, well, we have Mike Kelly actually.
Oh, my boy Mike.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
Mike is in the house.
Mike's a hooper now.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he just won gold medal. I don't remember exactly where, but Mike's a baller, and he's an old school hip hop guy.
Wow.
Which of course I'm a fan of that. You know, Mike and I used to ball together, and he would show up in an old school T-shirt, and always let me try to figure out if I knew what the album cover was or what have you. And Mike, of course I knew. Thanks for checking in, dude.
So we've got Mike checked in and he says, I either find spirituality or I die a drunk death. Two choices. You know, a friend of mine used to say, well, how bad can alcoholic death be? You know, that was, and you had to think about it. Well, I have to quit drinking or I die this horrible alcoholic death. Well, how bad is alcoholic death?
Cirrhosis of the liver is pretty bad.
Well,
dying of the shakes or I forgot what they called. What are they called? The when you don't have a drink and you get
the whiskey fleas.
No.
What?
What's the word I'm looking for? Not the OCDs. The
detox.
No, you got the that's how long it's been since I've been drinking. Thank goodness. I can't even remember what they call it when you wake up with the
All right, I need to get a count of just the amount of caffeine that you had today, and we need to calibrate this.
Yeah.
Just to the right amount. So the word is like an epileptic seizure.
No. What's it called when you
delirium,
you need a drink?
Delirium.
When you need a drink, you get the
delirium tremors. You get the shakes.
No,
they used to say
these are not the words I'm looking for. They're called the
you know what the old timers said when they
DTs?
saw the
No.
DTs, delirium tremors.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah. So the old timers, when they saw me, they say that boy's shaking like a three-legged dog that swallowed a peach bit because he's trying to pass the peach bit.
Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Maybe you can incorporate a meditation. Oh, look at Mary Jane's piping in. I like her.
MJ's
in the house. She's our girl, man. MJ, namaste.
Yeah.
She you know, I liked the meditation this week with her. It was critical. We were thinking about what was the meditation? Do you remember?
You would ask me, and that was what, yesterday?
No, yeah,
it was
yesterday.
Yeah. It was great.
Promises, baby.
Right.
Promises were part of it.
Yep.
And if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, which is at the 9th step, though, which requires you have to walk up the other 8. You know, that's the difficult part. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go, well, I just want to be not crazy.
Yeah.
So forget step 1. I just want to be not crazy. And then I want to not feel bad for all the shit that I did.
Right.
And that's what they call the classic 2-step. And maybe I wanted to add in, as I got my move down, I wanted to add in while I start, helping others. Like, doesn't really work that way very well.
We could incorporate a meditation, but then wouldn't that be silence?
Yes.
We'll be one of the first podcasts that goes silent.
Yeah. Well,
And if we had that, it had that button that would play, that awesome healing music that plays in the background during a meditation, which I dig.
you know what we could do?
Hit my button.
Which button do you want?
You know which one.
Oh, that's loud. Can you hear it?
No,
Oh. Can you hear that?
a little bit. I don't know if they can hear it. I don't know what it's coming out of the headphones. No, so the people can't hear it.
Oh, so you're not wearing your headphones. That's why you can't hear it.
Right, but it doesn't care what I hear. It's what the listeners hear, the people that are live.
It should be part of the whole process.
Oh, they're listening to what's in the headphones?
I guess.
Somebody let us know if
Yeah.
you just heard that music or not.
How is the sound, guys? MJ, namaste. She's still here. She's our girl. She's hanging with us. I would click on this, but I'm afraid that you'll yell at me if I click on it because I won't want to learn.
Yeah.
But you know what we should think about doing? Maybe taking a moment to, just wrap it up and hit the reset button. I really like the context of what we're doing here. And the framework of the show was completely derailed before we got here.
Yeah.
So our structure changed. But we love doing this for you guys, and we like the response. I really enjoy doing the daily meditations and the readings with Craig, and this stuff is what us putting our energy into recovery. It doesn't matter what type of work we put in recovery; it always pays time and a half. Holiday pay. When you're going through the steps, it says, "Hey, we had a new employer." Being convinced we were at step 3, we had a new employer, and so the way that I translate that, I got this new boss, so I get plenty of sick days. And, obviously I'm going to manipulate that literature to my advantage, but I still have a new boss.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the fact that I can even come to the realization that I have a new boss. So,
Yeah. Well, like I like to say,
so the music did not come through.
yeah, I didn't think so.
Julie answered it.
Thanks, Julie.
And Mary, they both did. But you can hear us live now, you two girls. Can you hear our we're hopefully we're coming through good.
Yeah.
And all right, so I'm not the engineer I thought I was. I am going to be, but I'm missing my phone. My phone was the heartbeat of the whole damn thing, and I don't know what I'm going to do tonight without a phone.
I don't know what you're going to do either.
I'm going to have.
How are you going to have the ChatGPT tell you what to do?
I'm going to have the DTs, baby. I'm going to be. Where's my phone?
Yeah. What I usually like to say is, if you're having a time quitting, whatever it is, you need to quit. You're not alone. There's apps and numbers and groups in your town, or you can call us if you want. Leave us a message. 727-294-4933. Hit us on Facebook like you are right now. Taking that first step into a room or a chat or a group with people just trying to get better just like you will be the best day of your life. Man. And it is a good life. And we need to remember that and make the most out of yours. Do something different tonight. Talk to a new person tonight. Open the door for somebody. Call somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Call that person that you had a grudge against for some stupid reason and just say hi. Shoot them a text. In today's world, you can shoot them a text. True story. I was getting set to make an amends to my oldest friend. And as I'm making the amends, and I took forever to reach out to him, he says to me, "You don't got to make an amends to me. You don't owe me anything, and I love you." I mean, what a great result that was. And I just kept it in my own mind and in my own selfishness and in my own ego that we had a beef. And the whole time, he just told me he loved me. So you could do the same thing. Maybe today's one of those days. I'm going to reach out to my sister, I think. Not that I don't talk to her a lot, but it's been a while. Let's just see how she's doing.
Nice.
Maybe it'll make her day. After the years of torture.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll make her day.
Um,
Anyway.
I probably have some to clean up somewhere. I'm sure I do. But yeah, it's a good time to love somebody, and to be grateful.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple. I don't have a lot of great thoughts for the day.
No,
but I do want to thank everyone, and we will continue this journey. We will get better. We will.
Next week, our live will be more entertaining.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
Well, listen. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching to Sober Shenanigans. Real talk and real recovery. Worry, anxiety, and fear, it's all up in here. So give yourself a break. You're doing great and you are enough. I'm Stoff and he's Primo. And remember, no drinks today.
All right, pal. Nice job.